The HR director's voice was professional, detached. "Miss Reeves, we're placing you on immediate administrative leave pending investigation of serious harassment allegations." I stared at the email on my screen, reading it 3 times before the words made sense. "What allegations?" "Your cousin Jennifer Moss filed a formal complaint this morning. She's provided substantial documentation of threatening communications spanning the last 4 months. We take workplace harassment extremely seriously. Jennifer and I barely speak. We're not even on the same floor. You'll receive a formal letter outlining the investigation process. Please collect your personal items and exit the building within the hour. Your badge access has been deactivated." The line went dead. I sat frozen at my desk, the desk I'd occupied for 6 years. In the financial analytics department I'd helped build from 3 people to 20. My computer screen went black. Badge deactivated. Just like that, the security guard escorted me out like a criminal. Colleagues stared from their cubicles, already whispering. By the time I reached the parking garage, my phone was flooding with texts. "What happened? Are you okay? Jennifer's telling people you've been harassing her." I drove home in a daze and opened my laptop. The formal HR letter was waiting. "Notice of administrative leave. Employee Jennifer Moss has filed a harassment complaint alleging unwanted contact, threatening communications and hostile behavior. Supporting documentation includes 47 threatening text messages, 23 hostile emails, documentation of unwanted workplace contact, witness statements. The investigation will take approximately 4 to 6 weeks. You are prohibited from contacting Ms. Moss or any witnesses during this period." Attached were screenshots, text messages from my phone number, filled with vicious threats. "You don't belong here. Watch your back. I'll make sure everyone knows what you really are. Your career is over." Emails from my work account. "Even worse, you're pathetic. Everyone laughs at you. I'm coming for your job and there's nothing you can do about it." I'd never sent any of them, but they looked real. My number, my email, timestamps across months. Anyone looking at these would believe I'd done it. Jennifer and I had never been close. She was my mother's sister's daughter. We saw each other at Christmas, maybe a funeral. When she got hired in marketing 3 years ago, I'd helped her navigate the company culture, introduced her to people. Then she got competitive. She wanted my projects, my clients, my office. When I made senior analyst last year, she stopped speaking to me entirely. I figured it was just professional jealousy. Nothing serious. I was wrong. The next morning, I called an employment attorney. David Chen's office was downtown, glass walls overlooking the financial district. "They suspended you based on screenshots?" he asked, reviewing the HR letter. "They look legitimate. My phone number, my email address. Can you prove you didn't send them?" "How do you prove a negative?" He leaned back. "Actually, you don't. We go on offense. These messages were sent over carrier networks and company servers. That means records exist. Real records, not screenshots. We subpoena the phone company and your employer's IT department. Get the actual data. That'll take months." "No, emergency subpoenas for employment cases can be expedited. If you're innocent, those records will prove it definitively." He paused. "But if there's anything you're not telling me." "There's nothing. I didn't send those messages." "Then let's get the proof." The subpoenas went out that afternoon. Phone carrier records for my number. Server logs from the company email system. Metadata for every message Jennifer had submitted as evidence. "This will take 2 weeks, David said. "Maybe less. Phone companies keep everything. Timestamps, tower data, GPS coordinates if location services are enabled. If someone spoofed your number, we'll see it." "What about the emails?" "Email headers don't lie. We'll see exactly which device sent them, from which IP address, at what time. If they came from your work computer, we'll see you logged in. If they didn't," he smiled slightly, "then we know someone's lying." Jennifer was everywhere. Her Instagram showed her at my favorite coffee shop, my gym, outside my apartment building. I started screenshotting everything, noting dates and times. Monday morning, 6:47 a.m. She posted from the Starbucks, where I got coffee before work. Wednesday evening, 8:23 p.m. She checked into the yoga studio I'd been attending for years. She'd never mentioned yoga before. Thursday I saw her car parked across from my building, just sitting there. When I came out Friday morning, she was at the corner, looking at her phone. I called David. "She's following me. Document everything. Photos, timestamps. locations. If this goes where I think it's going, we'll need it. The phone records arrived first. David called me into his office, his expression unreadable. He spread printouts across the conference table. Hundreds of pages of carrier data. Your phone number sent 47 text messages to Jennifer's number. Over 4 months, he said. Dates and times match her screenshots exactly. My stomach dropped, but here's the interesting part. He pulled out another stack. Those same messages were also sent from 3 other numbers during the same time periods. He highlighted the numbers. Burner phones, prepaid, purchased with cash, no names attached. I don't understand. Someone sent Jennifer those threatening texts from burner phones, then spoofed your number to make it look like they came from you. But they got sloppy. They sent duplicates. The phone company logged all of them. He spread out another document. And here's the GPS data from those burner phones. The map showed dots clustered around addresses. I recognized Jennifer's apartment, Jennifer's gym, the coffee shop near her house. These burner phones didn't leave Jennifer's side, David said. Whoever used them was within 50 feet of her phone, 97% of the time. She sent them to herself. Yes, 843 messages total. Across 4 phones, she'd text herself from the burners, then screenshot messages that appeared to come from your spoofed number. The email analysis was even more damning. The IT department's server logs showed 23 emails apparently, from my address to Jennifer's, but the IP addresses didn't match my work computer. They matched the guest Wi-Fi network, the one anyone in the building could access without logging in. The metadata showed they'd been sent from a personal laptop. MAC address registered to a device purchased by Jennifer Moss. She'd used her own laptop, spoofed my email address, and sent herself threatening messages while sitting in the company lobby. She planned this, I said, staring at the evidence very carefully, but she didn't understand technology as well as she thought. David pulled up another file. Your company's badge access logs. Every time she sent herself an email, she'd badged into the building minutes before. The security cameras will show her in the lobby. David drafted a letter to HR, attaching the phone records, server logs and GPS data. But he didn't stop there. This isn't just a workplace dispute anymore, he said. She committed fraud, harassment, and stalking. This is criminal. He sent copies to 12 recipients. Company HR director, company general counsel, company's outside employment law firm, district attorney's fraud, division district attorney's cybercrime unit, my employment attorney himself, my litigation attorney for the civil suit, Jennifer's HR file, formal complaint, State Bar Association, ethical violations in legal workplace, Federal Trade Commission, telecommunications, default come forward, she Cherney sent to Ed, she Cherney sent, she Cherney cybercrime, fraud phone carriers, fraud department company's insurance carrier, liability notification. Why insurance? I asked. Because your company suspended an innocent employee based on fabricated evidence. When you sue for wrongful suspension, defamation, and emotional distress, their insurance company will be paying. They need to know now. The response was immediate. The company's general counsel called David, within an hour. We're terminating Miss Moss effective immediately, and reinstating your client. We'd like to discuss settlement terms. Your client will hear from us regarding damages. David replied calmly. My client suffered significant emotional distress, reputational harm, and loss of income due to your inadequate investigation procedures. The district attorney's office called next. We're opening a criminal investigation into Jennifer Moss for wire fraud, stalking, filing a false police report, and identity theft. We'll need Miss Reeves to provide a full statement. Jennifer's attorney, she'd hired one fast, called David's office 6 times in one afternoon. David didn't pick up. The news spread through the company like wildfire. I wasn't there to see it, but my former colleagues sent updates. Jennifer's office cleared out by security. HR sent a company-wide email about misuse of harassment reporting procedures. The CFO personally called me to apologize. 2 weeks later, I sat in a deposition room watching Jennifer across the table. Her attorney had advised against it, but the criminal investigation required her statement. She looked smaller than I remembered. Her hands shook as she signed forms. Why? I asked. The question wasn't part of any script. She didn't look up. You had everything. The promotion, the office, The respect. I worked just as hard, harder, but you got it all. So you tried to destroy my career. I thought, she finally met my eyes. I thought if you were gone they'd see me, really see me. You bought 4 phones. You sent yourself 800 threatening texts. You followed me for months. My voice was steady, cold. You didn't want them to see you. You wanted to become me. Her attorney touched her arm. Don't answer that. But Jennifer kept talking. I watched you. Your routine. Your favorite places. Your schedule. I learned everything. I thought if I could show them you were unstable, dangerous, they'd give me your position. I'd finally get what I deserved. You're right, I said quietly. You are getting what you deserve. The criminal charges came first. 3 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of stalking, 1 count of filing a false report, 1 count of identity theft. The civil suit followed. Wrongful accusation, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and invasion of privacy. The company settled with me for $340,000, and a formal letter of apology that went in my personnel file. They offered me Jennifer's position in marketing, more money, better title. I declined. I didn't want anything she'd touched. Jennifer pleaded guilty to avoid trial. The judge gave her 18 months in county jail, 3 years probation, and a $50,000 fine. She'd also have to pay restitution for my legal fees, another $87,000. Her attorney tried to argue diminished capacity, obsession disorder, mental health crisis. The prosecutor held up the phone records. Your client purchased 4 phones, created an elaborate spoofing system, documented her stalking with GPS precision, and executed a months-long fraud campaign. This wasn't mental illness. This was premeditated identity theft. The judge agreed. I went back to work 6 weeks after the suspension. My colleagues were awkward at first, not sure what to say, but the company had sent the full exoneration email, including a summary of the phone records evidence. Nobody looked at me like a harasser anymore. Jennifer's marketing team got absorbed into other departments. Her office stayed empty for months. Nobody wanted it. I still check my surroundings sometimes, still screenshot strange social media activity. The therapist says that's normal, that it'll fade. The burner phone records are stored in a fireproof safe in my apartment, all 847 pages of them, evidence that the truth exists, even when it's buried in metadata and server logs and GPS coordinates. David framed the subpoena, the one that requested phone records for my number. It hangs in his office now, next to a small plaque. Technology doesn't lie. He's right. Jennifer created a digital paper trail of her own obsession. Every text, every spoofed email, every GPS ping. She documented her own crime while trying to frame me for it. The phone company records proved I was innocent. The same records proved exactly what she was.